Okay, week three. We're going to start out talking about levels some more, and then we'll eventually move into some more stuff about walls and openings and some structural elements. But everything in Revit is based on a level. It's a datum element, and it is the active work plane that you use when you're placing objects, most objects. Okay. And you cannot create a level when you're in a level. Okay, so here we are. I've just opened up a new project from the architectural template. And you can see the default levels 1 and 2 and the default building elevations. Okay, so over here on the architecture tab in the datum panel, the level creation tool is turned off. So we have to either be in an elevation or a section view in order to create a level. Okay, and so now it's turned on. When you go to place it, the first place you click will be the tail. The second place you click will be the head. Okay, and as you cursor over the end of existing levels, it will snap to that end. And so you can also change, you can just, with your mouse, change the height, okay? You click and then you go to place. Okay, so that was easy. You've probably done that, already. There's a couple other things. You can set the level here as you're going to work, and let's say I want that to be 10, so I just type 10 on my keyboard, and then it sets it at 10 feet. Okay, and you can see when a level is selected, you get a temporary dimension here, and you can click and change that, if you wish. We talked about changing names over here. One other thing. Okay, so in creating levels, you can use a copy command or the array command to create a level. But when you do that, it does not create a view. Okay, because as you've seen over here, I've got these two new levels I created. So let's go with copy. Choose that as my base point and come straight up. We'll go ahead and say 12 feet. Okay, and so now that is level 5. And you can see level 5 is black instead of blue. So that means it created the level, but it did not create a floor plan view or a ceiling plan view. Okay. Let's see. Same way with you use the array command. It would be the same way. Now, if we look at this, let's see. I'm going to delete that. Let me just Control Z to go back. Okay, so I've got rid of that. Another option on creating levels is you look here in in your options up here. We can do offset, say an offset of 10 feet, and then I click the tail and the head of an existing level, and it will offset it 10 feet above that, and it creates a plan view for that. Okay, so that's another way of creating them. Another option here is when we can turn off make plan view, and it would be just like copying. Okay, we can select what view types we want. Okay, now you may not always want a ceiling plan for a view, especially if it's like if the level is going to be a foundation. Okay, so a foundation level, or a footing level. You're not going to need a ceiling plan for a footing. Okay, so you could just select the floor plan. Okay, and it would create just a floor plan without a ceiling plan. Now we haven't delved into structural plans here because you see that that's showing up, but over here you can see the default levels 1 and 2 did not have structural plans included. We're not going to deal with structural plans in this class, I don't think. Not in 1127. In 1129, I don't remember off the top of my head. But with a structural plan, the only elements that will show up on it are structural items. Okay, and so we'll cover that some more, as we're getting into structural items. But regular walls and hardwood flooring, drywall, any furnishings, doors and windows, things like that, will not show up on structural plans. The same way when we go to create electrical plans or plumbing plans or things like that. Okay. Okay, so let's look over here at our levels, and a common thing is you may have two levels that are really close together. Like you may have a top of foundation wall level and then a floor level, and they're really close together. And so I'm going to make this one 2 feet. Okay, so when you're seeing this, and then even when it shows up on your drawings, it doesn't look right. Okay, and so one way we can change these things is we can select a level, and you zoom in here. Back up. I think I covered this in a video last week. You got the checkbox here on both ends that will turn off the head, okay, or the detail, the name of it, okay, so that turns it on and off. There's this little elbow right here that you can click, and it will bend the the level line with a couple of handles, and then you can move those up and down. All right, so but a problem with that is it doesn't translate into the other views. So if I go to my north elevation, okay, so you can see here there was no change made. So let's go back and select this level line, and we go here, propagate extents. All right, and so we can select, we want to apply this to the north view, and we'll go okay. And then we go to the north view, and there the change is. Now, you may be asking, well, what about the east and the west view? Well, because we created this in a south view, that's where we made the change, it only reflects it to the north view. So you would have to make a change on an east view and then propagate the extents to the west view. There we go. Okay, and so that pretty much covers a lot of stuff about levels. If we look at the properties for a level here, not a lot to deal with. You can change names either over here in the actual level head, or you can change it here in the properties. Sometimes it's good to give it a name. Okay, and would you like to rename the corresponding views? Yes. Okay. That's weird. It didn't change it over here. Oh. And I'm just giving some names on these. Maybe I didn't hit yes. It's not, I don't know what's going on with it. Okay. Um, uh, all right, so that's on changing names on these things. And if we go to our 3D view, a lot of times the levels will show up, okay, and we can hide those or turn those off in any particular view, but there they are. And yeah, that covers just about everything with views. Let me, okay, so let me open up some of these over here to show you a little different. So if we open up a structural plan, notice the difference in the icons for on the tabs. So the structural plan looks like, you know, beams or girders or something, okay? A ceiling plan looks like a little ceiling grid, like acoustical tiles, okay? Now the thing with ceiling plans is you have to remember it's like you're laying on the floor looking up at the ceiling. So the orientation is correct for the building, but the stuff that you're working on, it's like you're looking up at. Yeah, that's why it's called a reflected ceiling plan. Okay. All right, so that's everything about levels, and we'll move on to some other stuff, okay?